What is going on, all you lovely people out there? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mike O'Hora, and this is a lovely penguin. Either way, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Today we're doing the set breakdown for the band 17 with their brand new music video, Hot, which honestly might be one of the biggest comebacks of this year. So we just watched the video already. We did a reaction to it, so go ahead and check that out if you haven't. But this is going to be the set breakdown of it, and boy howdy do I got my work cut out for me today. Right off the bat, we start off running out in the desert, right? And for the most part, a good chunk of this video is going to be filmed out here in the desert. And before we get too far into it, I have to ask, where did they shoot this? Do you guys know? Because maybe I don't understand Korean geography, but I don't think they have any deserts in Korea, do they? But it looks like it could have possibly been filmed somewhere in like the US or something, because like a lot of the stuff that they use in this looks like old, worn out like oil rig type material, which is really, really cool. But yeah, so this is the overhead that we see. But then we get to this kind of a shot here where they have a lot of like, I know it sounds silly, but it's kind of like desert-esque garb. So like they got like the street lamp here. They got all this like old rusted metals, things that look like it would come off of like an old oil rig or something like that. It's all pretty rusted over already. They got old fences, old signs, all that kind of stuff. They even got the little metal windmill thing looking guy back there. And this is more of a close-up shot. We'll see it a little bit wider a little bit later. But yeah, a lot of this stuff could just be scavenged from location. Being that they are shooting out in the desert, they're definitely on a location somewhere. A lot of this stuff they probably already have there to begin with. So I don't imagine they actually have to bring in all that many things. But it allows for a whole bunch of different shots. It lets people go up on top of different things. They can be off to the side doing their solo shots here and there. But it just opens up a whole bunch of different opportunities, which is really, really cool. This is, from another point of view, that's that ledge that we were just looking at before. They changed up some things. They got a bunch of big metal pieces back here. They run a bunch of motorcycles, ATVs. They even had the Hummer there. A few other cars as well. And yeah, this is all stuff that you'd see out in the desert. Now, this shot, they actually do out at a studio, right? Relatively easy-ish setup. You know, you got the the flat ground, the regular black ground that you'd have in a studio, but then it leads over to this background piece, which is most likely just a bunch of pieces of wood that they have carved out to make it look like a city skyline, a silhouette, if you would. They most likely painted it black just to give it that extra bit of darkness to it. But yeah, they can cut out these little pieces. They could have even used it with a relatively thick cardboard too. But in order to make sure that it's not like flexing and like falling apart, it would probably be better to do it with wood. And then they actually have another piece going along the top here, and you just kind of connect them all together. You just screw them together. There's little pieces of wood in the back that are there to hold them up, and then they put sandbags on it so they don't fall down. And then the lighting team comes in from behind and lights it all up. I'm not sure exactly what they did for the background. You could never really tell on any of the images that we've seen, but for the most part they could have just painted the wall to look like that, and then those light strips that are going up could be particular lights, or not could be, they are lights that are shining upwards. As well as you got a little bit of a smoke going on here in the background too, which allows you to see the beams of light shooting up. But it's a light amount of fog, so it's not much. But it just gives that a little bit more of an ambiance to the shot as well. And it makes for a really cool shot. And then also you get pretty much mostly silhouettes of the guys as well, which makes it look really cool when they're dancing. So overall, this is just a really cool idea. This is another really cool one. This is on a blacked out stage. It looks like they went to a big printout vinyl location. there are places that will special print out different vinyl textures for you, and they print it out like either I guess seeing that it's in Celsius, it would be like a thermometer chart is what they made for this. So they print it out. They stick to anything really. So you just stick them out on the floor, and then you let the guys come in, sit down, lay down, and scatter across it. And then you get these really awesome shots with the camera up on a crane where it kind of twists and comes down on the guys. But it just makes for a really cool shot. It's really not a hard thing to do, but putting down vinyl can be kind of annoying because it tends to bubble. So you got to do it slowly. You got to make sure that you have something flat that you can be pushing the vinyl with so that any kind of bubbles that might be forming will get out. So you don't have to worry about it looking all bubbly and crappy. So this music video, it jumps around a lot, and I'm kind of just slowly going through the whole thing right now. But this shot is one that they did when they went to the like dock locations or like the old boat depot, I guess you could say. I don't know exactly where they are for this, but I've seen similar things in other music videos as well. But it looks like it would probably be some sort of seaport or something like along that lines. And you can actually see like some of the big like crane areas where they lift off different cargo and stuff. That's actually what's up here on the right here, and then it's just, you know, regular metal gates and stuff like that would be there already. So for shots like this, the only real set dressing you would have to do is if there's other things in the shot, you just kind of clean it out, clear out everything else. If there's any sort of signage, you make sure that you can't read any labels or anything like that, because you can get in trouble if you're using somebody else's logos. So you got to make sure to cover those. That's called Greeking, and it's just kind of covering it and making it just a flat regular background. Now this place, I have no clue at all where this is, but when we're watching the making of video, I thought for a second this was possibly a set that they built, but this is actually a location. This is a building that pre-existed, and they didn't actually have to build anything for it, I don't believe. So it already is very, very aesthetic. It's got that nice blue teal lighting going on as well. And then it has all these different trees in what looks like a museum-esque display case, which I'm not quite sure exactly what's going on with that. But yeah, it's got seating here and stuff. I guess this could be potentially like a lobby area of a building or something. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but whoever did the set location scouting crushed it. This location is beautiful. It's a very, very nice spot. Also, there's a certain shot that you can see in the behind the scenes where it actually has writing on the glass too. I'm assuming explaining what's going on. So that's why I'm like, this might be like a museum perhaps, but I'm not 100% sure where this is. Either way, locations did a fantastic job. All right, so we're back. We're back out to the desert. I will say that big hand in the background, they edited that in. Yeah, I mean, it's so smooth and well done that like you can kind of tell when you pause it, but when the music video is going, you can't tell at all. But also that stuff on the right, that's actually there. And like I said, it kind of reminds me of like an old-timey, possibly like oil rig or even a mining outpost. It could be as well. So there's a part of me that feels like this might have been in the US that they actually filmed this bit. However, I really don't know. I mean, this could be in other countries as well. It's just, I know I've seen different kind of architectures like these in the US, particularly from like the Old West type of a thing. And they're definitely going for an Old West kind of feel. It started off sounding like an Old West song. Then plus you got this guy right here in the middle. He's rocking a cowboy hat too. And yeah, I think that's kind of what they're going for. This all would be more location stuff, so you wouldn't actually have to bring that kind of thing. But you do have to rent all these cars and motorcycles and stuff, unless people who are working on the video just have that kind of stuff, and then sometimes production will just pay you to use your vehicle as well. So it could be cool. Who knows? It might be somebody who's working on the set. So here you can kind of better see that they're out on location. You already can see these two huge boats in the background. This is that like seaport / boat area place. I'm totally running out of ideas of what to call this, but it's exactly that. And yeah, because of it, it's such a cool location. You don't really have to do all that much. Most of the stuff that they did in this video is edited in as well. However, you do have this cool little like angel wing contraption thing on his back. It looks like they're actually made out of metal. I believe this would be something that would come from wardrobe, but seeing as he does kind of take it apart, it might be a prop that they brought, but most likely it would be a prop that was taken care of mainly by wardrobe. Nice. So now we're back on that set, that same set that's in the studio. You can see that same kind of outline of a city skyline in the back there, but this time they've added in a bunch of different things. They got these big light fixtures. They kind of look like 80s lights, perhaps like a carnival lights. Then you got this other big signage as well. The lights on it aren't working, but you also got some more here on the right. I can't actually tell what any of it actually says, but what it's really going for is they're definitely going for like an old school American, like Americana type of a vibe. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of it too, you got this big windmill here in the back where it's partially covered, but partially it's the fan pieces you can see with the light shining through. They added in a bits in the back to make it look like it's the sun. So they did a lot of really cool things here. You even got the cactus and stuff that we talked about in the last video. Yeah, I would not be surprised if all this stuff was rented, because that's something that's kind of easy to come by out in the West in the U.S. at least. However, I will say a lot of those pieces are really, really big, so they probably had to pay quite a pretty penny to get them, and they'd have to be specially delivered and all that kind of stuff too. So yeah, for the most part, this isn't things I don't believe that they made these. I believe these are like authentic, old school pieces of like signs and stuff and lights and whatnot. They're antiques, if you would. So it's still a really, really cool thing. And I like that they kind of left them a little bit run down too, because it kind of adds to that feel from the desert area where they're by like the mine or the oil rig or whatever they were standing near. Another awesome shot right here is him out in the desert. He's surrounded by a couple of spears that are stuck into the ground. And quite literally, that's exactly it. You rent out some spears and you stick them into the ground. There's not much set dressing to do there, I can tell you that. I will say, too, it's cool how they also still use the desert set, but they just change it to at night. And at first, I didn't notice it in the video. I thought they were at a different location, but this is actually the same spot from before, and you can tell from the pieces over here on the right. The big tower, you got also that big metal wall that was over there. There's another tower off in the distance, but it's just nighttime. That's all that's really changed. It's not much different. It's just dark, you know, but still, it's just really, really good usage of location. It meshes well with the edits and all that stuff that they've been doing, and it allows us to see these cars with the special lighting and stuff on them, and it just, whew, beautiful. I will say, you kind of got to see it just there for a second. The transitions in this music video are nuts. So it's like he's pointing a gun at his shadow, and then it cuts to this area where his shadow is a person, and then back to him looking at his shadow still, and then the shadow transitions into this shot here, and it's just like, it's so smooth. It's so well shot. It's crazy to me. I am not an editor. I mean, I edit my own YouTube videos and stuff. However, I'm terrible compared to what these guys are doing. And it just blows my mind because I couldn't even imagine trying to figure out how to make this work and have to do it on my own. So I can't give enough praises to the editors, to the directors, the producers, the people in charge who have these ideas. It's bonkers what they've done with this video. Absolutely crazy. Also, sorry, I didn't get to talk about this wheel, the compass that this dude's laying on that has all the knives stuck into it. I will say those are either not sharp knives, they're dull knives, or they are just prop knives that are made of plastic that they managed to cut little holes into the board here and stick them into it. Because, I mean, God forbid he moves the wrong way and cuts himself. That is not something that any production is going to be willing to do with their talent. So, but they got this board here. It spins. Also, the transitions that go with this are crazy. Obviously, if you've watched the music video, you've seen these transitions, but it's so well done. This is also at the location that is the dock and or boat depot or whatever we're calling it, but still, it's a simple system that you can set up. You just have to get a round piece of wood, or you can cut a circle or whatever. They printed out an image onto it, and then there's a motor sitting underneath it that you build a little contraption to sit the whole piece on, and it just spins it around, you know. But on top of it too, the camera is also spinning at the same time, so it's just like mind-blowing what they did with this. It's so cool. So I've talked about this in other music video reactions that I've done, but I'll mention it here again just because they do have a couple of guns that you see throughout this music video. Those are props. They are not real guns. They do not actually fire bullets. The ammunition that you see in his mouth right here is not actual ammunition. It most likely could be the shell of a bullet. However, they've taken all the gunpowder out, meaning that it is now a prop. It has no way to fire. They probably even took out the charge that the hammer would strike in order to set the bullet off. That's probably also gone, but it is a completely safe thing for him to have. Obviously, the only thing that would not be safe about it is if he accidentally swallowed it, because then it would be a choking hazard. But besides that, there would not be any gunpowder in there. And from what I've learned in talking about this is that South Korea has way tighter gun laws than they do here in the U.S. So even on U.S. films and stuff, they're not going to be using real bullets and stuff like this. They would be using all prop stuff. If they need to have a gun that looks like it fires, then they will use a regular gun, but they'll use blanks, which don't actually shoot out any bullets. It's just this gunpowder that goes off to make the smoke come out of the gun. But that's about as far as they'll go. For this video, every time they shoot the gun, you can actually tell there's nothing actually happening there. I think at one point they edit a bullet coming out, but it's very clearly not a real bullet that's coming out of it. And yeah, so this would be a safe thing for them to have, but it is something to be aware of. It is something that can fall under prop department. If it is a non-functioning gun that does not fire at all, it will be something that will be controlled by the art department and or whoever's running props. They will also always, there is a protocol that you are supposed to do, at least here in the US, to show everybody who's involved with the gun, the talent, the producers, the directors, anybody who's going to be anywhere near the gun, they need to be shown that it is in fact not a real gun. It does not fire. They need to be shown that it does not work, and then they need to be shown the ammunition. Everybody gets to touch the gun, feel it, make sure that like the trigger doesn't actually do anything, and it's just the safest way that everybody can be sure. Unfortunately, in Hollywood, there's been a few times where accidents have happened, and it is horrifyingly tragic. There's been another one recently this past year that was really tragic, and they are just getting stricter and stricter with how they handle weapons on set. So for this video, I know that they definitely were being safe about it. With South Korea, like I said, their gun laws are incredibly tight compared to the US, so there's no way they'd be having a real gun on set. I will say these dock areas are so cool. Like I said, all this stuff's already there. It's a little dangerous that they have him up there, but most likely this is the actual music video, so they probably edited it out, but most likely there's some sort of a crane system above him with wires holding him up, because that is a bit of a dangerous thing to have a talent do, and it'd be a huge insurance liability if they were to actually send this guy up here with no ropes or anything. And I'm sure there's also like crash pads underneath this as well. But I mean, God forbid he falls inwards, he'd land on the metal pieces and stuff. So there'd most likely be some sort of ropes to protect him from actually falling too far. I will say for this guitar in particular, you see it quite a bit throughout the music video. I do wonder if this is one of the guy's guitars. Maybe it's his guitar, maybe it's one of the other dudes. But it's a really cool little thing, and people definitely have guitars like this. It also could be a prop as well. But sometimes artists will bring their own instruments and stuff to the set so that they can use them. But I believe this one's probably a prop just because of the way that they've been swinging it around. I think he even puts it through a mirror at one point. So it's most likely a prop, you know. But still, I really like that they even lined it with some light and stuff. Definitely adds to a nice aesthetic there. I'll say this, man. Every time they use fireworks and stuff like that on set, it's always sketchy. There's supposed to be somebody on set who is a explosives professional or a fire professional or something along that lines, who would be the ones that are setting that kind of stuff up. That would not fall under the art department's jurisdiction, or it should not fall under their jurisdiction, I should say. But yeah, I love it. I think this is so cool. A little crazy for my taste, but I know people like to do their comebacks big. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for me for this set. I'll say this, man, they made do with some of the craziest stuff I've seen. This video came out so good. And like I said earlier, it's such an amazing blend of animation as well as, special effects and practical effects as well. So it just made for such a cool video. I mean, when you can balance that kind of stuff out, it really adds an element to a video that really steps the game up a notch for sure. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking out more from these guys. If their videos are anything as crazy as this, I would definitely love to check them out. So if you have any recommendations, go ahead and let me know down below. I don't know, maybe I'll check them out. Maybe I won't. I don't know, whatever. I don't care. Also, if you saw something I didn't, let me know, because there's so much that I'm sure I missed something. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it. Make sure that you sub to the channel. Help me continue to grow. So make sure you check out all the links that we have down below. It's got all the social medias and whatnot. We also have a Discord, and I have a Twitch where you can actually come and talk to me directly if you'd like to. So please feel free to come on out to those. They're super fun, and it's really awesome to meet you guys. So yeah, I love you. Stay aggressively positive. Have a great week. Bye.